All right, welcome everybody to the Brown Balls podcast. It is a very special day today. First and foremost, I am Tapis, and I got my best buddy here, Kanil, the
Yep,
biggest Lakers slash LeBron lover in the world.
of course.
And today's special because it is 8/24, which is in LA, is considered Kobe Day. And R.I.P. to the Mamba, he was one of my biggest inspirations as far as just getting that work ethic that he had is something that I carry on to this day. And we both are very big Kobe fans. We want to make sure we start our first podcast on the Kobe Day as representing Kobe. Kanil, how about you, man? What did Kobe mean to you?
Everything, man. Growing up, childhood, man. Crazy. Um, it was like essentially a god for us. I mean, that's what got me
Yeah.
into basketball. I didn't want to be like Kobe.
Yep.
So, I mean, the legacy he left behind is insane, Especially
Yeah.
the game I remember is obviously, the last game, 60, or the
Yeah.
or the 81 point game. I mean, nobody has ever even touched that yet. So, with the opposite scoring with 2 points, people going crazy, they still haven't touched that mark yet. But
Yeah.
he's everything, man. Work ethic, the stories you hear now by other former
I
NBA
love those
players,
stories.
man, those stories are crazy, So, I mean, a little kid growing up, in LA, man, Kobe is everything. So, I mean, definitely
Yeah,
his
yeah.
presence, but I mean, it's not forgotten. So, he means the world. How about you, man?
Same. And that's the amazing thing about Kobe is like the day he and Gianna passed and the other people on the helicopter passed away. I remember that it just felt like the entire LA was like silent. Like everybody was just quiet. Like I remember going into Target and everyone's just so quiet because I think everyone's still reacting to the news that Kobe passed away. And so he just tells you like just how much he meant to LA and California in general. My idea is for me personally, like you said, he's the reason why I got into basketball. Like I never watched it. I knew Michael Jordan was great and blah blah blah, but I remember just watching this punk kid rookie year,
Exactly.
just arrogant a-hole is what people called him, and
Yeah,
and you just see this big fro, and he's just athletic. He's just talking crap the whole time,
airball
and it's
three
just and
pointers
it's
against
so
Jazz in the playoffs. I mean,
yes, exactly, and it's just and I just saw that journey, and for me, like I became a very big Kobe fan, even after the whole separation with him and Shaq happened. I was still like, no, Kobe all the way. I don't care what you say. Kobe is the one. And I know you and I always also go back and forth about like who is the GOAT. And again, for me, my GOAT is always Kobe Bryant. I know it's down to LeBron and Michael, whatever. But the greatest player I ever saw play was definitely Kobe Bryant. So
yeah,
that's
he's
why,
up there, man. It's debatable all
yeah.
the time,
Oh, he is.
you know.
Exactly. And I think on and off the court, I think is he has that like that's that motivation. I mean, even to this day, like if I need to work out, I watch his motivational videos about him talking about his work. I think I'm just like, it's getting me so pumped up. I just want to freaking go to the gym and lift like 600 pounds, even though I can't. But it makes you feel that way. So he's such a good inspiration.
Exactly. It shows that he never gave up. Even
Yeah,
with his Achilles and everything, he still came back and try to be, what Kobe is, and he still did it, and he
yeah,
still played like 2 years after that. So, I
yeah.
mean, he just came
And he,
through, man. I mean, look, Jordan, LeBron, or Kobe, um, no one's
can't
gonna
go
be
wrong.
disappointed. I can
Yeah,
say that.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, people have witnessed in the '90s Jordan, 2000s Kobe, and like now the later 2000s is LeBron. I mean, so
Yeah,
everyone's getting what they're well deserved. The
generational goats is always what I always argue. I think we have the
I mean,
greatest
one,
of all
two, and
time
three.
when. Exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely one of our biggest inspirations. So that's why we wanted to make sure we start off the podcast on this day, even though it's a
Oh,
Saturday.
eight,
I was
three,
like,
four, man.
we have time, like we'll make time because it has to be on Kobe Day. So I'm glad we are
And it
doing
also is our 3-year anniversary that where we actually thought about starting the
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
2021, which was 8/24 as well. So
yeah. So,
we're like, let's restart this on this day again, so which would be
well,
awesome, and we
we're
can
sticking to it though. We are sticking to it this time for sure. I know it for sure. So
100%, man.
let's get into it though.
Yeah, of
First round ball we got to talk about is football.
course, man.
So we have the football season starting in 2 weeks. You are a big Rams fan.
Yeah,
I am team undecided because I was a big Brady fan. And ever since he retired, I just enjoy football now. It's pretty cool. It's cool to be on this side because before I was always arguing like ready to go. Mahomes sucks, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm just like, let's just enjoy and see how everything is. But what are your thoughts going into 2024? How's preseason looking? Any teams really stand out to you that you didn't feel were quite there, but then you saw them playing, you're like, oh crap, they're pretty good.
Preseason, everyone's using, I don't want to say Sean McVay's, theory or how to prepare for preseason, but nobody's really playing their starters. I mean, some people are, some people aren't.
Yeah.
So you can't really gauge, preseason is, you can take some of the stuff, but you can't really believe that's what's going to happen. You can't really
Right.
think that, oh, this team is actually going to be good. I mean, the only takeaway I can see is that, the only person that I was impressed with coming into this and is Caleb Williamson from
Oh, that's
Chicago Bears.
right, right. You
Uh,
talked about it last night. Oh,
well, that last night or even his first preseason game when not Tyreek Hill, was it Tyreek Hill? But someone said that he reminds me of someone I played with. I think it was Tyreek Hill, and basically, he's referring
Tua,
to um
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Uh,
Caleb looks good, man. He's our local SE product here, so
yeah, no,
I'm
no.
rooting for him, But besides my Rams, we're playing our backup to backup, So I can't really gauge. That division is gonna be all Niners until something happens to
Yeah,
the Niners. Niners are going through turmoil with Ayuk. If they want to keep him or trade him or give him an extension or what. Over there, we don't know what's going on, but they still have a deep team. So that division,
yeah,
even though I love my Rams, I don't see Rams winning that division. I do see
yeah.
if they do make the playoffs, it'll be wild card. It won't be division winning. But like you said, you're not a fan of a team yet because Brady, his behind the mic now, man. So
Yeah,
um,
I'm excited to see that too because
yeah,
he's already started off pretty strong.
yes,
He's already had a couple of hot takes
he
as
did.
far as
He did.
the college football thing that he talked about. Um, what are your thoughts on that? About how he said pretty much that college football has turned from like a developmental kind
Yeah,
of like 4 years into like a team because essentially people can just be like I don't like this program, I'm out, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And I don't. And then I know he took full advantage of being in football, and in the
Forrest.
4 years there,
Yeah,
he grew. He went from a bench to a starter and all that kind of stuff, and
yeah,
he saw the benefit of it.
yeah. He talked
Where
about
do you
how.
lie with it?
Yeah, he talked about how when he went to Michigan, he was not even a backup. He was like a third string,
Yeah,
and first year,
yeah,
and then second year he became the second string, and then third year he became a backup, and then fourth year he finally got to play some snaps. And so he
yeah.
was talking about more of a program aspect of it, right? Like this big schools like Alabama, Michigan, UCLA, USC, those are big programs, right? Where they bring in a high school kid and they kind of teach the fundamentals of play calling, what kind of defense they're gonna be seeing. It's kind of you go through your ups and downs, right? But
Hmm.
what Tom is referring to Brady is that they dummy down too much now. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of rookies as a QB who are getting pushed to become a starters, and some
Hmm.
some QBs are not prepared for it, as you can see. You know, look at the expectation Caleb Williamson has, right? He's a rookie.
Hmm.
He needs to produce, right? Some people don't really produce, and it just shows that they're not ready for
Yeah.
the big time, Like last year's number one pick, Carolina Panthers drafted, right? He
Hmm.
did good, but not great. The team,
He's a
the
Panther.
team didn't
Panthers
listen
don't know
to
what
him,
the hell they're doing.
right?
Yeah, Carolina doesn't know what they're doing though.
Yeah, exactly. But he was the number one pick, right? And you're
Yeah.
giving like a key to your franchise, and so basically, I do agree with Brady. Back then,
Yeah.
programs were built to bring in a young 18-year-old kid, make him go through his strides to be ready for NFL. So when he's
Hmm.
there, he's good to go. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not that anymore, man. With this new NIL deal and transfer portal? I feel bad, but college is becoming more of a business and it's more of a winning now mentality, and kids are already and just kind of going through
Yeah.
the motion. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, that's one of the reasons why Saban retired, right? Like, he saw the writing on the wall. Like, this is not what I want to do. Like, I don't want to have to like pitch my team to, because I mean, he was obviously for years he was getting the best recruits, fast recruits, all that kind of stuff, and now all of a sudden he has to like be like pitch himself essentially to players versus players trying to play for him.
Exactly.
He's trying. Yeah, he has to be like, hey, you good? You're getting no play time. You're not gonna leave, right? Like he didn't. I don't think he really like, appreciate that aspect of it. He's probably like, I don't think I can do this for too long. This is not the way that I imagine football to be. And he bounced. Do you think that people like Caleb Williams, for example, he's a good example. If he does struggle, let's say he has a really bad rookie year, do you think it looks bad on college football trying to push this narrative like, hey, let's get these young kids superstar snaps all of a sudden and get them into NFL? Or do you think like, hey, it's still we're gonna wait? Because I know there was a sense like that's kind of what happened in NBA when we were getting a bunch of high school kids coming out, Kobe, Kevin Garnett, but after them, there were a bunch of high school kids that were not good. Besides probably LeBron actually. Like most of them were terrible, and so now they said, no, you have to go to college. You have to get some sort of like, structure because you're just coming in so raw. And all of these college kids are coming in very raw and they're not performing. Do you think that Caleb Williams may or may not shift that if he doesn't do
No,
well? Because he's
I
so hyped,
I
like super
I
hyped.
think I think there's two aspects to it, right? There's still a
Mhm,
big disconnect between NFL and college, right? So college is just gonna produce those players and how they get drafted, right? But I do feel that like when you do draft that player, in this case, we'll use Caleb Williams as an example. They're gonna
mhm.
give him, his chances like 2 to 3 years for sure, and then they can make a judgment out of it. But this process is already.
Do you think they'll be that patient though? I don't
You
think
know
I don't, I
what?
don't
I
think
mean,
NFL is gonna
it
be that
depending on the
patient.
franchise, right? It depends on the franchise.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, as much as we want to say that you know, maybe who's gonna get the fall for it? The NFL coaches. They're the person gonna be out of their job right away.
Coaches and GM, yeah.
They might not be the right fit, and so they may be just out of their job. I mean, that's the first thing they're gonna do. They're not gonna get rid of their top 10 pick and move on from him.
Yeah.
So they'll move on from the coach and see if they can bring a better coach who can actually, develop man. Because now NFL teams are responsible for that 3 year, like what Brady was talking about. It's not college anymore, right?
Right.
College is so dummied down that, like a Caleb Williams who looked good for 3 years at USC / Oklahoma, I think he played for. But he looked
Yeah. Yeah.
great, because the league is so easy for him, right? So now NFL teams are responsible to go make that player, earn his stride by understanding the offense, the defense, formations. What is he gonna see out there, right? He has to learn it on the fly. It might take 1 or 2 years. Like Jared, I'm
Mhm,
not Jared Allen. What's his the QB from Buffalo, Allen, right?
mhm.
First year had a bad year. Second year, you saw
Yep.
the big improvement. They made that playoffs.
Yeah.
He had a great record. He threw consistently. So you saw that first year struggle, right? So what you're gonna see a
Right.
lot is like a lot of QBs will have that first year struggle. Technically, that's their college experience, understanding, the defense, how to read the defense, what offense to call, what play signal calling is correct or not. They're gonna go through their motion the first year, and then second year,
Mhm.
that's where they'll judge the player basically. That's what I think is gonna going forward.
So you think that it's transitioning to like the NFL becoming the developmental part
Yeah,
of the college football players, not having them develop in college,
no,
just be really good, put up a lot of numbers in college, come to the NFL that will
exactly,
develop you here.
exactly.
I don't know about that, man. That
Yeah,
doesn't
man.
sound like a good recipe for success.
It's not. It's 100%. It's not, man. But I mean, that's what it's.
Cause I look around the league, right? You have Mahomes, the best QB right now, right? By far, and he was developed for like 2-3 years,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And he watched what's it, Alex Smith play,
Yes.
and then you have even Jordan Love who came out crazy hot last year and got the richest contract now, but he also watched under Aaron Rodgers, even though I don't think Rodgers really helped him much.
But
Aaron Rodgers, same thing. He developed into Brett Favre. Hmm?
well, that's what Brady was referring to, right? That
Yeah,
you should
but
you should be able to sit on the bench for a year and understand it. He's like, I sat for 2 years under Drew Bressow. I understood the game
right.
or 1 year or 2 year whatever we sat behind him, and he's like, when my time was ready, I was able to go. Like these players are like getting handed everything to them, saying that you're gonna start the like
Yeah.
think about this week. How many QBs got named as a starter that were rookies? Washington Commanders,
Hmm.
right? Their second pick,
Chicago
named as
Bears.
a
Yep,
starter. Broncos. Their Bo
that's right.
Nix
Yeah,
got named as a starter. And then
yeah,
your Chicago Bears. Their rookie
yeah.
got named.
Hey,
I mean, think of
I feel like it's a bad
you know
setup
Zach
for them, though,
Wilson, right?
man.
Zach Wilson was a top 5 pick and didn't produce, right? In at the
Yeah,
Jets, and he got traded to Broncos.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It ruins everything, man.
But they're going to these franchises that are traditionally not good at developing players.
That,
That's why I feel bad for them, like the Carolina of the world. I mean, Houston, Texas probably are the ones that are surprising, but that's because they have everything new, a new GM, new coach, new mentality,
yeah,
and so
exactly.
you just know that there's a whole change. But like Chicago Bears, Washington is not going to develop these kids
No,
properly.
they're
I feel
not.
like
But
like
see,
I feel bad because we're losing our potential greatness just because we're going to burn them out the first 2 3
oh
years,
yeah,
right? That
and
sucks.
you won't be able to see, what that player could have been, and we
Yeah,
won't get
exactly.
through
I
you.
mean, I'm
You're gonna miss
hoping
that up
that
there.
that they survive through it, but like someone like CJ Stroud is gonna struggle probably this year because people are gonna really figure him out from last year. They'll know what to do differently this time. Even Jordan Love's probably gonna struggle this year a little bit too because everyone will figure it out.
Well,
How do you come around that, right? Like
well,
once you have that
well, that happened
crazy
to Lamar
season,
Jackson. Remember the MVP season?
Lamar Jackson, there you go. That's a good, yeah.
But he did
He had a
great.
bad year after he
He
blew
ran through
up.
the
He had a
whole
bad year.
league, and then that second year or that whatever year, that
Yeah,
following year, people figured out how to play him.
exactly.
And what they did was
Yep.
they sat back at him because they knew that he doesn't like throwing as much, and so all
Yeah.
he was to do is
Now all he
pretend to
does is
throw and
throw.
run. But now he learned, right? It took him 2 years though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It took him a while to
Yeah.
learn this. That okay, I have to learn
Right.
to read the defense and read my own offense, who's ready, put them in the right position. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be learning, on the fly, to be honest.
Yeah. It's definitely tricky. I feel like like, again, these kids are gonna. I hope nothing but the best for them, but I just don't know. Like QB should not be starting. Even if you're the number one overall pick, you should not be starting first year.
I mean,
You should, I'm sure Chicago could have gotten somebody
I mean,
else. Just let them chill, see the game, see how it feels, see get a couple snaps in preseason, and that's it. Don't just throw them out
yes.
because again, Caleb Williams also did not play under an NFL type of offense, so like he's gonna also learn the hard way that as well,
Oh,
right?
100%.
So,
And that's why
but yeah, look, let's see.
that's the reason why Jordan Love is doing why he has so success.
Yeah,
Is that he sat behind
he
Rodgers
looked
for
terrible though,
years.
so he needed those reps. Remember that when he played those 4 games, I think that one year when Aaron Rodgers got injured, he looked so bad. I remember laughing because your brother is a big Packers fan and my
Yeah.
cousin is a big Packers fan. And I was just like, bro, you guys could have this idiot as your. I mean, obviously
And
he
the thing
proved me
is,
wrong,
he
but
struggled. The thing is, he struggled last year too, before the
yeah,
bye week, and he
yeah,
turned it
yeah,
up after the bye week because he learned.
yeah,
Because I mean, he was a
yeah,
full-time starter. He was learning. So the first 6 weeks, he didn't do good at all. And then he
yeah,
started racking up the stats by after the bye week, and then they made the
yeah,
playoffs, and they made the close. They came to a They came to close to NFC Championship game, but they lost right before that. But they should have beaten the Niners, but they didn't. So.
yeah. And he has a great coach, and then that also says a lot. Matt LaFleur is a very, very good coach. He's like a Sean McVay, I think. I mean, Sean McVay is probably the best coach in NFL, but like he's like him. He knows, he understands how to develop these young players. He's also young, like just like McDaniel's over in Florida in Miami,
Yeah.
same thing, right? Like young, and they understand these kids, and they can relate to them, give them time. Because Tua, I don't know if he plays in another team. I don't think he does as well as he did last year with Miami. Even though he had Tyreek Hill, I get that, but I don't think Tua does that well.
No,
He did well because of McDaniel. So
I agree with you. And
yeah,
McDaniel understanding that what my QB is good at and what he's not good at, and putting him in that perfect
yeah,
situation, right? And that's what Sean McVay
yeah.
does, right? And that's exactly why he got so much out of Jared Goff when everyone wrote Jared Goff off as the number one pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
He struggled under Jeff Fisher. Like they called him a
Yeah,
bust. Like Rams, I mean Carson Wentz was right behind him doing good, and Jared Goff
yep,
couldn't even throw the ball, right? Couldn't even connect with anything.
yeah.
And then you hired a 34-year-old Sean McVay, and the rest is history, right?
The Super Bowl.
So
Yeah,
it's all about developing the player the correct way. And if the coach knows what he's doing, then the franchise just gets turned around. I mean, Bill Belichick,
yeah,
right? I mean, with Tom Brady, you guys had a history for like 20 plus years. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it happens,
So
man.
it happened, but it'd be interesting to see. I think this year will tell a lot about how everything plays off because I think if Williams struggles, people
Yeah,
will have a second look at like, hey, should we really be doing this in college as well? Because I agree with you. I think college is becoming very gamified now. It's not
I agree.
that fun, like passionate. I mean, I'm sure they're passionate, but I mean, like, when I was in Arkansas, like you saw the passion the fans had, you
Of
saw
course.
the passion that these kids had because they were just happy to be there. They wanted to take everything in. Now I feel like it's like, hey, can you give me more money? Can you give me more
Well,
endorsements? No, okay, I might go somewhere else and
that
wherever.
well,
So it's the
okay.
richest program will get better.
Perfect example was it was like a Division 1 school, but a smaller school, not a big time program. It was based off Ohio, and they had a really good
Mm-hmm.
kicker. And they lost him to Alabama. Alabama came in and just took him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were able to
Hmm.
pay him more with the NIL deal.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
guess that conference where that school's in from, they had a media day, and one of
Yeah.
the media members asked them saying that, oh, you lost your kicker for a special team,
Mm,
so how you guys are gonna regroup? Right away he interrupted that, that person saying that we didn't lose our kicker. He left to go to
mm.
Alabama. Alabama
Yeah, yeah,
and took the kicker from us. We didn't lose the
yeah,
kicker through injury or anything. Alabama came
yeah,
and took the kicker because
yeah,
with this new NIL deal, big time majors have money. Like
yeah.
the rich people have money,
That's
like
the thing.
Alabama, UCLA,
Yeah,
USC. Those
the big
you have
schools.
money to give this players,
Yeah,
right? So obviously this small school probably doesn't have enough capital where they can use it on those players, and that
yeah.
player's opportunity that Alabama needs like a kicker, and they're able to pay him, and he's like, okay, I'm going, you
Mm,
know. So that's what's
yeah.
happening.
Feels like
It's kind
baseball.
of
Like the richest, like like the Dodgers, the Yankees of the
yeah,
world, they can have like this inflated salary cap, and they just buy like all these players and have them in their
exactly.
team, and all the small market teams like we can't compete. I can't get Ohtani for like freaking
No,
$30 million. He just signed a $100 million contract over there. So like it's again, it's very interesting. But I'm excited. I'm just glad football's back.
no,
And
man.
honestly, this summer felt like it took forever. I stopped watching ESPN and even First Take and everything. I was just like,
Yeah,
there's nothing on. I mean, I'm not the biggest baseball fan. I only follow whenever the Dodgers start doing well.
exactly.
But going into NFL season,
Yeah,
who do you think is the most underrated team going into? You think they had a bad year or like an okay year last year, but you think will really take off this year?
man, that's a really good question. I think Steelers.
Steelers.
They had an okay year
Okay.
last year,
Yeah.
and Mike Tomlin has never been under 500, and he hasn't still, with
Yeah.
whatever QB he's been dealing with. But I do feel that he actually got. I do feel that he finally got the QB that he wants and that he can run.
Wilson.
And I do feel that that team is gonna shock a lot of teams out there this upcoming season, and they're
Yeah.
gonna actually
Yeah.
do well.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think last year there was a Pickett. Was that
Yeah,
their QB last year,
yeah.
right? He was not good, and he looked scared
And
half the time.
again, a first round pick. I mean,
Yeah,
so much. He went to school in Pitt too, by the way. He's from Pitt,
yeah,
and he still could.
and because of him, the offensive coordinator got fired because everyone thought the OC was doing bad, but it's actually then once that guy's gone,
Exactly.
he still looked bad. So it's like, okay, something's got to go. So yeah, I agree. They definitely will improve from last year because they still, even with that crappy offense, they still were able to get over 500. Their defense was solid as always, which makes Mike
That's
Tomlin
the thing,
is
man.
known for that Steelers way. But
And Justin Field has,
yeah, I just
man. I mean, he was a number 2 pick, right? And he got booted out
yeah,
of Chicago, so he has something
yeah,
to be proven. And so,
yeah.
I mean,
He's a good backup.
yeah,
Definitely a good backup.
I think he might be the starter. I think he's gonna win it over. I think he might, or I mean, if he doesn't win it over Wilson, Russell Wilson, he might get it right
Yeah.
away. I mean, I don't think Russell Wilson has anything left, man. So he might. Russell
I mean,
will be named the starter, but I think it's for only temporarily for a few weeks, and I think Justin Fields gonna get that starting position right away.
So you think either Wilson gives up his role, or do you think
No, no.
Fields earns it? Like he just outperforms,
I
or
just
you think the
I
Steelers
just,
are
I
going
just
to
think
struggle
Russell
with
Wilson.
him?
I just think Russell Wilson will not be able to perform, and it'll be obvious
Okay.
that they gotta move on from him and just give it
Mm,
to Justin Fields and see what he can do.
okay.
I mean,
Yeah, it'd be
Russell
interesting.
Wilson was a disaster after leaving Seattle, and that shows he was more of a system QB under Carroll
Yeah.
because he couldn't do anything,
Mm,
and he couldn't do anything with Sean Payton. So I mean,
Yeah,
he's supposed to be an offensive like whisperer, right? So he can really do what he
yeah,
did.
yeah. Quarterback
And
whisperer
Broncos.
too.
So I
Yeah,
mean, I think Russell Wilson, I think, is done now. So but I do think Justin Field has too much to do, and getting with it like that from Chicago, I mean, that definitely lights fire under you. So
I hope so. I mean, I think that kid does need some redemption for sure.
how about you?
Um,
What is your take, man? Hot take coming like people.
Underrated team. Shoot, I feel like the Bills will come back. I honestly feel like Stephon Diggs was a very, very negative impact on that team.
Chemistry issue.
Like he was
Like,
so up and down. They're doing well. Oh my God, high fives. We're doing well, guys. We love you. And then we lose. And then he goes to one game, he has no catches, and then he's like, I'm gonna unfollow the Bills in Twitter, and then cause all this, like controversy and stuff like that. I just feel like there's so much. I think Josh Allen will just be able to play the way he wants to play instead of trying to force the ball to Diggs
yeah.
to keep him happy. I think that's gonna help them tremendously. I you know I just think that's probably gonna be one, and then maybe the Jets. I think the Jets defense looked really good. With Rodgers coming back and hopefully playing past 4 snaps, he'll be able to make an impact. I'm not the biggest Rodgers fan, but I think they'll definitely
Bad
improve
man, man.
compared to what last year.
He's Rogers, so
He is. But he's also a head case off the field. Like there's so much stuff with him.
But I
So
mean, he does have weapon. Garrett Wilson, man, he's waiting.
yes,
He's
yeah.
waiting, man.
No,
So I
he's
mean,
they're loaded. They are very, very loaded. So I think that division will be very highly contested. I don't think the Miami Dolphins are going to be able to match. Again, I think the Bills will do much better. The Jets will do better. Patriots are just they're already waving the white flag right now. So they're probably gonna be last place anyways. But I think the Dolphins probably goes into third, and then
they already say their first round pick from Patriots is not doing that well. The QB Drake May, he's not doing well. So
Drake May. And they got rid of their best receiver too, right? Just recently, so for a second round pick. So it was like, they're like, forget it. We're just gonna, let Gerard Mayo do his thing for a couple of years. We'll build, in a couple of years or something. What do you think is the most overhyped team?
Oh man, I gotta say the Eagles.
Yeah, same,
The Eagles.
same.
And you know what?
It's
The problem is because their coach. I don't think their coach is that good.
I agree.
He's too much into
I
himself.
am with you there.
Too much
He
into himself.
is.
It's all about him, and it's not about him anymore. It's about the team. And I do feel that he keeps on blaming people. Like last year, he blamed the defensive coordinator, who's my former buddy there, man. Like he blamed him and got him fired almost, basically, and replaced him with like a former Patriot, coordinator. That was horrible. That was a disaster waiting to happen. I think this year, I do feel that if they don't start off well, man, the pressure's gonna mount. I mean, they just traded for Dotson from Commanders. I mean, their offensive lineup is just scary. I mean,
they're loaded, man.
How are you gonna lose a game when you have Saquon in the backfield, you have Jalen Hurts as your QB, and then you have AJ Brown, and then you got Dotson, and then you got Smith. So how are you going to produce? So I don't know, man.
Yeah. The Eagle. I agree with you there. The Eagles are definitely overrated. I think again, Sirianni, he just finds a way to really kick his team in the back. Like last year, right when they were 11-5, it was 11-0. They start off super high and we're the best, blah blah, and all of a sudden they lose one game, lose to no, we were struggling this whole year. We were struggling. I'm like, you weren't saying that when you were 11-0. You started saying that once you guys started losing games. Now you're pointing fingers at somebody else. Oh, Jalen Hurts, blah blah blah. Like it's just, I feel like he makes it by himself too much. That it negatively affects his team.
Oh yeah.
And also I think I don't know if the tush push is gonna be really good because now that Jason Kelsey's gone, the best center in the league. I don't know if that's gonna help. That play may not be automatic as it used to be without him. So they will struggle. And again, Saquon is always a big question mark as far as injuries. Like he's great. He's explosive.
Yeah.
But he just gets injured every other week. So I don't know. I don't buy it yet.
Same here, man. I mean, but they're loaded. Let's see how they do, man. Sometimes you
Yeah,
don't need a.
they won the division. I don't think the Cowboys are gonna be any better.
Well, CD
Dak hasn't
with
improved. I
CD
just feel
Lamb
like.
situation, man. I mean, that's not getting his.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly,
he's holding
exactly.
out for a contract, new contract. I mean, Commanders
Yeah,
are slowly like trying to rebuild.
yeah.
Giants, I don't know what they're doing to be honest. I mean, like,
Did you see that? You see how bad Daniel Jones look? I haven't seen a quarterback play that bad in a while. I feel bad. Again, I feel bad for the kid because I think he had a good starting last year, and then he was doing decent. And then when he got injured, it just completely fell apart. Now he's like throwing pick sixes in his own end zone. Like it's crazy.
that's the thing, man. I mean, how do you give him that kind of contract after 1 year, that one good year they had in 2022? He had that one good year, and it wasn't even that great. It was good, as a
Yeah, he was
QB, and
okay.
that big contract that year. I'm like, come on, man. So, but I'm
It was either that or that Italian guy that got super hyped for like over that.
like,
Everyone thought he's like the next Tom Brady. Yeah, like
gosh,
and then all
right?
of a sudden he has to fire his PR team because he's like, okay, that was way too much.
And they
But
drafted
yeah,
a
the New York Giants are in
and
shambles.
they drafted the best receiver this draft in the first round, Nabar or something. Both
Hmm.
pretty good. So that division, I mean, Philadelphia probably gonna win it because it's really weak. So
Easily.
there's no
Yeah, easily.
competition. I mean, which division do you think is gonna be the most competitive division that's gonna come down to like the last 2 weeks to see who's gonna win that division? That's gonna go down, neck and neck.
Probably the Jets and the Bills.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it's going to come down to the NFC South, which has Jacksonville, Tennessee, Houston, and Indianapolis. If you tell me right now who's going to win that division, I can't predict who's
Mm,
going to win that division. I mean, Jacksonville, Tennessee lost, Derrick Henry. Houston came off a really good year, with the first year
yep.
rookie QB. Indianapolis has a really good rookie QB who got injured last year, Richardson, right? Who was doing really well, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I can't tell you who's gonna win that division. I think that's gonna come down to the last 2 weeks because
But do you
North,
think any of those teams in that division are actually like Super Bowl
no,
contenders?
no, they're not. That's the
Yeah.
thing. But
Yeah.
they're
So it'd be competitive, but I don't think
no,
the outcome will. It's like the Falcons and
yeah,
the Buccaneers division. Like, yeah, it'd be competitive, but like no one's gonna really care because of that whoever wins that is not gonna win the
that
Super Bowl.
exactly. That's the same conference right there. Yeah, NFC South and that's AFC South. They're both
Yeah.
divisions. They don't know who's gonna win that division. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, now you got Kirk Cousins playing in
Oh
Atlanta,
God.
so I want to see how that goes, right?
Another.
So, yeah, those two divisions, both South divisions, I don't know who's gonna come out. I mean, it's gonna go down to, I mean, I think the last 2 weeks and see, who wins head-to-head matchup. But besides
Yeah.
everything else, I mean, every other team, I mean, that, um, the the AFC East,
Hmm.
you're gonna be the Buffalo most likely or the Jets. The NFC
Yeah.
North, you already know that's gonna be, Cincinnati Bengals or Baltimore Ravens. You already know they're gonna get that. And then
Hmm.
NFC East, Philadelphia. North, I mean, Detroit Lions, that's the team that's coming back. People are picking them to go to the Super Bowl this year, by the way. I don't.
The Lions. Yeah.
I mean, I know they had a great first year with that, with Jared Goff and the coach and everything. And I mean, I mean, that was their first year. That was their second year, obviously. But I'm saying like they had a
Yeah.
really good year last year, and people are
Hmm.
hyping them up like it's like not man. I don't know about being
Well,
making it into a Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
okay. So from our talk last night when we were at the dinner thing, you said you think the Bears win that division. So you
That's the
think the
reason.
Bears beat out the Packers and
The,
the Lions,
because,
and you think with the rookie quarterback,
yeah,
you
man.
think that they're gonna overtake the two? Because I mean, again, the Lions are Super Bowl contenders, and I do believe that because they are a very like spirited team. Like they fight really hard. They really believe in their coach. They'll run through a wall for him. And I think again, Matt LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the league. And I think Jordan Love will have a good season, not a great like last one. I think he'll struggle a little bit, especially with the young receivers. But you think Caleb Williams overtakes all of that and becomes so you put them the Bears as potential Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah. Nah.
Oh,
First
okay.
of all, I don't even think Detroit Lions is a Super Bowl contender. And they go,
Okay, okay.
Chicago Bears are not going to be Super Bowl contenders because they're not going to come out of the NFC for sure.
All right.
I do feel that division is basically they feel that they're just already handing it to Detroit Lions, which I think is
Yeah.
premature. They had a really good year last year. Everything went right for them. Everything went right for them. The receivers were ready to play. Jared Goff was ready to play.
hmm
They had a really good running game going on. I do feel that, there's going to be that second year effect that, defense are going to be ready, to play the Lions, right? And so,
hmm
but I do feel that Chicago, with Caleb, nobody knows how to defend him yet. I mean, the
Yeah.
one thing Chicago did is they gave him that offensive players they needed, right?
Yeah.
They got the guy Keenan Allen from, Chargers, and then they
Yeah.
also have
Great pickup.
more. They have more.
Yeah.
They also have
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles starting running back from last year as their
Yeah.
running back. So that gave Caleb some breathing room, right? He doesn't need to be here. Go Caleb, throw it 40 times, and win.
Right. Right.
It's not gonna be like that. They have a good running back. They have good receivers. So, and with
It's
Caleb
just to have a good defense
and
stuff.
doing all kinds of moves, people are gonna be shocked. That's what I feel. I
hmm
mean, I do feel that that they might maybe if they don't win the division, I know they'll be better than the Packers. I think they'll be second for sure.
Yeah.
I do think Packers
hmm
were overrated, and giving that contract to Jordan Love, they're gonna regret that. That's gonna be the
For
same
sure.
thing
Yeah.
that happened to the
For sure.
Giants, giving that QB
Yeah.
big extension. So on, man,
Yeah. I agree.
getting 50 million like that, I don't think that's gonna.
No.
I mean, he didn't prove
It's
anything yet. Yeah, last year he did good, but
yeah. That's the
so
thing. If they give that kind of contract to CJ Stroud, I get it. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. He's a rookie. Fine. Go ahead because he did prove something. He got in playoffs, which they haven't gotten in a long time.
yeah,
Like I just don't think Jordan Love like really proved himself
no,
significantly versus what he was paid for. But yeah, I don't know. I like the Bears. The Bears' offense is great. It'd be fun to watch, but I just think their defense is not that great. So the best bet is to just outscore everybody, like just light it up
what's
on
gonna
the
happen?
scoreboard, and then just hopefully like you don't play against like Lamar
Oh
Jackson
yeah,
or something where he can also light it up too.
exactly.
Um, but if you play against like or the Chiefs or something like that, but yeah, I guess that'd be a competitive division too. That'd be interesting to see because I still think that the Lions come out on top. But it will be kind of cool to see if that can be competitive because the Bears and the Packers have had a long lasting rivalry.
Oh god.
So that'd be kind of fun to continue to watch too.
I mean,
Uh,
another team that I'm kind of looking forward to watching is the Chargers, man, with the new head coach.
yeah.
He's good,
So,
really good. He did great with the Niners when he was playing back in late
hmm
2000s. I mean, in 2000,
great pickup.
what was it, 2008? No, 11 and 10. When he was the head coach
hmm
for them. With
The Niners,
I mean, they took him to the Super Bowl against the Baltimore. They lost, but I mean,
yeah,
I want to see how
the
he does.
Hardball Bowl.
Exactly, Harbaugh. There you go, man. So,
Yeah.
and then
Well, I'm glad you bring in those Chargers because I was gonna ask you, staying local, who do you which team between the Rams and Chargers, SoFi Stadium, rivalry, I guess, who do you think is the better team this year,
oh man,
Chargers or Rams?
I do feel that Chargers will be better only because I do feel that they don't play in a competitive division.
Okay. Okay.
Rams
Fair enough.
they play in a competitive division where they're gonna be playing Niners twice, Seattle twice. Those teams are very good. The only team that Chargers have to deal with is KC, and I feel that KC, man,
Yeah.
there has to be some type of letdown. They're not gonna go 100% crazy, right? They're not trying to win the division. KC knows they just gotta make the playoffs. You know that too. Mahomes knows that
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
any stadium in January or February, I mean December and January, he'll win those games. He doesn't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and then also you have Broncos starting a rookie QB, and then you got Raiders. We don't
hmm
know what the hell they're doing, right? I
They're
mean,
not.
so
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at it. I mean, that 8 games right there, they're gonna win like at least like 6 of them easily. 6-2 out of those 8, those games. So
hmm
I don't know. I do feel like
Do you think that Chargers win a division potentially? I mean, yeah, I do agree.
I do
KC
see
will
that, man. But
not take it seriously and maybe just coast until they get to close to
Preston
wild
needs to
card or
stay
something like that.
healthy, man. Herbert needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like he's out
Yeah.
right now with I think plantar fasciitis is still
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It happened right in training camp time. Right when training camp opened up. I think he tore it or something happened to his foot.
hmm
And he hasn't been even practicing with the team. They said that
Yeah.
he's about 4 to 6 weeks, so he should be ready by week 1. But he might miss the first few weeks. But Justin Herbert
hmm
needs to be healthy. And man,
Yeah.
they finally gave him a really good coach. I want to see what he does, man. He's really
Yeah.
talented, man. He has a cannon of an arm, just like Josh Allen. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this guy, he's a franchise.
He makes it look so easy. Like I remember watching him play, and like just the way he even threw it, just like it just didn't feel like he's like putting a lot of like like
No,
he's throwing it as hard as he can. It's just like just kind of flings it, and just you just see it travel 50 yards like no problem. Like what in the world is that? Like he's incredible. I do agree with that.
so
I agree with you too. I think the Chargers have the better season this year. The Rams, I don't know.
we have too much what ifs, man. Cooper Cup had a bad
Yeah,
coming off an injury. He had a bad year. Puka, what his name is. He did
yeah,
a good
Puka.
job, right? He came out of
Yeah,
nowhere. That's the reason we did so good during the season to make the playoffs. But
yeah,
again, Matthew Stafford needs to stay healthy too. I mean, we got Jimmy
yep.
G, but I heard he sucks.
He's
So
terrible, man. And now you see what Tom Brady was talking about, right? He's like, you're gonna replace me with this guy? Like, really? But yeah, I don't think Jimmy G is gonna help that team tremendously. I do agree. I think the offense for the Rams is great as long as Stafford stays healthy. They might again be like the Bears, just light it up. Their defense, I think, is gonna struggle this year for sure.
yeah, man.
And I think with Chargers, yeah, I think Harbaugh does make a huge difference. You can also see, I think even just reports coming out of the locker room, they're talking about how like just how much serious they take the game now, because they said that before, like none of the players really cared about how the Chargers win or lose. There's no like consequence for the losing. The coach was very analytical, so like he would go on it, go for it on the dumbest, 4th and 7s, whatever it was. Like he would just
Dude,
go for it,
he's
and
playing
everyone's like,
on fourth
why?
down almost. Like he's playing Madden, like real life
Yeah,
Madden or something. Like you don't
yeah,
go for it.
exactly. And it still can be analytical, but that's too much.
But you gotta like. I mean, Detroit Lions learned it the hard way. They went on their fourth down. They could have hit a field goal and made it a full
Yeah,
game, but they wanted to finish the game, right? They didn't
yeah,
convert against the Niners, and like Niners came back
yeah,
and won the NFC Championship game, right? I
yep,
mean, I do feel like with Chargers, having a good coach with a really promising QB, man, that's gonna be good, man. I'm
yeah,
excited to see. With the Rams, I don't know, man. They're hit and miss right now. I mean, we won
yeah.
that Super Bowl. We lost Aaron Donald. I want to see how our defense does, man. Aaron Donald,
That's one thing that
people are
losing
not
him
thinking
is
about that too
huge.
much. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
we can replace him with what he did with productivity. But the leadership is gone. Being in the
yeah,
locker
yeah.
room is gone, right? So people are forgetting
That
that.
fear people had of Aaron Donald, even up until last year, like people were like, oh, 80's back there. I gotta make sure I'm not going there, because he was just so scary. I mean, I think even Tom Brady said, like, you see Aaron Donald back there, you're just like, okay, I
Look,
cannot throw there for sure. I gotta make sure my running back goes somewhere else, because that dude's hovering over there.
yeah,
Let's just avoid that. That's how much respect that guy, AD had amongst the league. So yeah, I think that's the Rams will definitely struggle. It'd be interesting because I think LA is majority a Rams town.
it is.
So I
It is.
mean, they're the most
I
recent
mean,
winners.
it is.
But we'll see. The momentum may shift if the Chargers are doing well. And Justin Herbert is a baby face, so he's also like potentially marketable here too.
Yes, man.
Um,
Yeah.
so
He's a
we'll see.
he's
It'd be
a
fun.
typical QB that every team wants.
Yeah,
A six
yeah.
for six. Athletic,
Cannon
strong
arm,
arm.
smart. Yep.
It's like a Joe Montana slash Troy Aikman kind of physique.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
know. I mean, but
yeah. So
before
it'd
we
be
finish,
fun.
well, one thing I want to talk about before we finish up, Tap, is
Yeah.
40-40 Club. I don't know if you're aware of that. Yesterday
Mm,
was a big celebration because do you know what 40-40 Club
Ohtani.
is in baseball or no?
The stolen bases and home runs, right?
Yes, sir,
The
man.
sixth
And
player to ever do it.
only 6 players I ever to do the 40-40 Club. And
That's
yesterday,
crazy.
Shohei Ohtani did it in such a grand fashion, in a grand
Grand
in
slam.
the game. In
First
the
pitch
game, in the
grand
ninth,
slam.
bottom
That's
ninth, and he base
insane.
loaded. He comes up and boom,
Yep.
next out of the yard, right? And he joins the 40-40 Club. 6 players only to do it, right? And there's still about 6 weeks left before the season even ends.
Yeah.
5 to 6 weeks left,
That's
depending on.
crazy.
I think they have about. I want to say they have about 40 games left. If I'm not, because they're at a
Yeah.
total of 120 something. I think they're about 40 games left or so. Do you think Shohei is gonna be the first 50-50 club? Nobody has done it in MLB history, man. Nobody has ever done 50-50.
I for sure he gets 50 home runs. I think I don't know about 50 stolen bases going forward. What is his average as far as every game, how many stolen bases? Probably like what, half?
Yeah, he does like 1.5 to slow and tries to do
Yeah.
steal bases, man. But doing 50
I would.
50 club, man, that'd be really really good. You know, like I don't know, man.
Yeah. I, f- I would say like I would love to see it, for sure, because you know the dude Otani is just breaking records left and right. Like, he's just an incredible talent that like we've never seen before, and that's why I want to go watch the Dodgers as much as I don't like going there because the stadium's so like shady. But um Otani, I mean, I watched the highlights yesterday. I saw that. I was like, holy moly! Like you never. And the crazy thing there was, you just see all the fans as soon as they came to bat.
Right.
Everyone's ready. Like it's gonna happen.
What's gonna come?
Something's happening right now. Oh yeah.
That's what I caught. Forget about him
Yeah.
hitting the ball. For me,
Yeah.
if you look at that, like everybody's ready. They have
Yeah. They're standing up. Phones ready. All right, let's go. It's first pitch. We already know, and then boom, right away, and everyone just explodes. It was
The
crazy.
thing is this: hitting home runs is not. It's not hitting a game-winning shot in the NBA because
Right.
with that is a 50-50 chance. Hitting a home run is not 50-50.
No, not at all.
It's not 50-50. And for him to even like be ready, everyone
Yeah.
expected that. Like think about
Yeah.
when every single fan expected for you to hit that home run and you do. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like that was
Crazy.
incredible, man.
Do you think he makes 50-50?
I think he does.
You think so?
Really
Yeah.
there, man. I think for him the stolen base won't be an issue. I think hitting home runs will be
Mm-hmm.
because like I mean getting to 50 home runs is tough. Like Aaron Judge is gonna be hovering around 60 home runs again and again.
Yeah.
With Aaron Judge thing too. Besides Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire are the only players to do 60 home runs in a back-to-back season. So he might be joining
Right.
that club too. So if I think he hit his 49th yesterday or 50th or something. He's right there too. He's 10 away as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
I want to see. Do you think Aaron Judge is gonna make it a 60 home runs? Because he did last year to 62 or something. So
Yeah,
hey,
62. I feel like he will. I think I'm more confident Aaron Judge will meet the 60 than Ohtani getting 50, which because Ohtani's 50-50 is a lot significantly harder
Yeah.
than Judge just freaking bombing it out of the sky.
yeah, man.
But I mean, it's winding down. It's pretty crazy. I think baseball for me personally is fun when it's actually the off season, not off season, sorry, the playoffs.
Postseason, yeah.
And it's that postseason it gets so much fun because you start to see all of the teams just come out of nowhere, and the excitement's different. I just can't stand to watch a full like regular season game. I just watch highlights and think that's enough for me.
Yeah.
I have a hard time going and following like, and you follow the Dodgers very closely, and
Yeah.
I can't do that. Like it's just when it's postseason, like, all right, cool, Dodgers are in. All right, well, I'll watch it. If they're not, okay, well, and next season, I guess.
Yeah, no, man. It gets good, man. Especially right now, this time of the year, man. September, end of August. That's when everything gets,
Yep.
really competitive. And so this is the time to watch if you're not having watched, man. The last month gets really tricky, So especially Dodgers are only, I think, 4 games up above D-back.
Yeah.
And so they're
I feel
gonna
like they should be. I mean,
in the
with the
series.
team they have, they should be a lot better. No, don't you think?
Injuries, man. Mookie was out for 2 months. Our pitching staff's been on and off. Yamamoto, he's been out for 3 months now.
Okay.
Walker Buehler in and out of injury, and so our pitching has been really inconsistent. So that's the reason why we struggle so
And-
much. The only guy who's been there is Shohei. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
Freeman was out because of his son. Being diagnosed with the rare
Yeah. Remember that?
disease.
Dude, so Shohei's not gonna pitch for what? I think he said every 2 years he's gonna pitch. Is that what it was?
Next year, yeah. Yeah, Tommy
Next year,
John.
yeah. So
He'll be ready next year to pitch.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. 'Cause I remember he said he's gonna skip a year or something like that, and he may not pitch like every season. He might do it every other season too,
Yeah,
just
just
to kind of save his.
So not ruin his arm. Yeah, so he's gonna pitch next year to make his
makes sense.
debut, and then I think he'll take time off, and then go for. I think he might do postseason though. He'll pitch every postseason.
Okay.
Which would be crazy.
That's crazy. The fact that we have like a superstar player who can get 50-50 potentially and also pitch like a great game. They hit 20 wins last season, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
First player to have so many home runs and 20 wins in a season. Like
As a pitcher too.
the dude's
insane, man.
it's mind blowing, man. I don't know how the Angels screw that up. I hate the Angels, so I was like, yeah, about time. But I don't know how they screwed up that. Like literally, you have Trout and Shohei Ohtani, like the two best players in the freaking league, and you just cannot figure out what to do with those two.
How do you not
Crazy,
put a group around them that can, be good and
crazy to
like
me, man.
Dodgers did. Like Dodgers, I mean, they
Yeah,
start Shohei the leadoff. After that, you have I think Mookie, and then you have Friedman, and
yeah,
then other players like Will Smith and all of them coming back. Like backing them up. Like
crazy,
there's no
man.
way you can pitch around Shohei. If you're gonna
Yeah,
Shohei, you have Mookie. If you do both of them, then you have Freddie. Who's gonna
I mean, how much of a flex is it that literally the best player in the league right now is your leadoff player? Like that's just a big flex that the Dodgers have. It's
And
crazy.
what's the funny thing? Usually a leadoff hitter, he's at a 6'4" play.
Yeah, yeah.
He's more
He's a
more
base runner. He'll
player.
get singles. Yeah,
Who
crazy,
needs to be
man.
fast and
Like
small
short.
and like mighty mouse,
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
is like
Your
giant, man, like
shortstops
six
of the
foot
world.
two and like built and like he's like a leadoff. He's like, man, what the
Yeah,
heck? I mean,
I mean, he still gets
he
four.
took that leadoff away from Mookie Betts when Mookie was out. Mookie was
Oh yeah, there
like
you
two
go.
months
That's
with
true.
a broken hand. Because at that time, it was Mookie was the leadoff and Shohei was number two, and then Mookie went out,
Mhm.
and then Shohei started to be a leadoff, and he's been doing well. That's when Mookie came back. Mookie didn't get his leadoff hit back anymore. He's a number two now, So
Yeah,
that's crazy though, man. I mean, I don't know.
it'll be fun, dude. It'll be fun. I mean, again, the best time for sports for me is about to happen. Football starts,
The fall.
basketball starts, postseason. Baseball happens. Like this is the fun times. So unfortunately for me, again, summer is never fun for me because there's nothing on for me
Exactly.
personally. But I mean, we had the Olympics just pass by. That was fun actually. I don't think I ever watched that much Olympics in my life, but it was always on in the house. I have it on Peacock. It just because I'm playing it, and if I see USA, oh cool, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Volleyball, whatever. I'm glad the basketball team, both basketball team,
Yeah.
women's and men's, got the gold.
We-
Crazy.
LeBron carried, and AD
It's,
was
yeah, I'm glad we have Steph Curry, because without Steph, we probably would have
well.
lost to
He
Serbia.
hit
Freaking
threes.
Jokic would have killed us.
He did hit those threes
You
that
see,
he did it, So I mean, but
you see, I know.
great.
I don't think I'm telling you this, but like, you see how passionate Jokic was about playing for his team, his national team, than he was for the Nuggets. Like he was like yelling at his teammates, "Come on, let's go! What are we doing?" Like you never see that in the Nuggets sideline, but when it's his national team, he's like, "We gotta win this thing." Like I mean, I know he's probably playing with a bunch of like
But I
like
think I think he also comes with comfort, right? Because he's from that country and then he
yeah,
speaks that same language. And like, I mean, with Nuggets, I mean, you have no one that's gonna be speaking your language.
yeah, I know.
And like,
He likes Luca only, and he plays Luca like every 4 times a year. That's it. But
exactly. And so he's more comfortable, man. But I mean,
yeah.
I'm glad they both won, man. The gold medal to win,
Yeah, for
man. I
sure,
mean,
for sure.
they let-
I hope the 3-on-3 tournament next time is better. I saw the interview with Ice Cube. He was pissed that like they wouldn't take any of the official three on the big three players. They didn't have them. They have a separate league that they took Jimmer for that. I didn't even know that dude still played that. He was probably an accountant
exactly.
somewhere.
Exactly.
But
I didn't know he played either, too. So to be honest,
yeah, like
he played international, and then I guess he came and
yeah,
3-3, and like I can't believe we lost that. That was disappointing.
yeah. So apparently there's a separate league of FIBA 3-on-3, and they didn't include Ice Cube's 3-on-3 because that's why he said next time we got to make sure that the Ice Cube's 3-on-3 teams are also a part of that. So maybe you have the best 3-on-3 players versus whoever the heck we put out there. But because I mean, basketball is our sports. It's like U.S. losing, to in football, like American football. Like that you just you cannot let that happen. That is our one sport.
Exactly, man.
You know.
But I mean,
Right.
well, it's gonna be in LA, man. So that is gonna be different. So
Yeah.
they added a couple new sports, cricket. They added cricket, baseball, and two more sports. I think lacrosse.
Esports
Yeah,
too.
yeah, they
And
added
then
that.
they're also gonna do video games too now. They took away
Oh, no way.
breakdancing after that fiasco. Yeah, they're gonna do video games next year.
True, that
Next time.
Don't even talk about it, man.
Poor Reagan, dude. I feel bad for her. She's funny to watch. It's hilarious to watch that whole thing go down, but it was the aftermath of it. And then they ended up canceling the breakdancing because I guess it was such a negative thing that happened.
It was embarrassing.
But especially Australians who were talking so much crap about US and medal count. So then they put that out there. But yeah, LA it'd be fun. I mean, I do want to catch an event when it happens here. I just do that traffic and all is gonna be so bad. I don't even know how they're gonna make everything happen. because it's already so bad. Imagine you having these live events happening all across LA County,
That's it.
and I think into Orange County too, right?
Yeah.
There are some venues in Orange County they're gonna be using
You
too.
utilize all the
And
fields there is, man, and like we got like, Intuit Dome is a new one and SoFi.
yep,
And then you have the soccer stadiums, So
yeah,
like those are new, State Farm Fields and all them. So
yeah.
it's gonna be interesting.
So
I mean, let's see how
be
it
fun.
goes.
I can't wait. Can't
Dang,
wait.
man.
But
So yeah,
uh,
this wraps up our
yeah, man.
episode, man. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, for sure we will have a lot more. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more developing news next week. Can't wait to get into that because we are 2 weeks away from football. Cannot wait. This is the best time. But again,
Exactly.
we just wanted to make sure we start today to remember and honor
Yes.
Kobe Bryant, and make sure we continue that mama mentality. And brown balls will be bigger than ever. I can feel it. So
Exactly. I hope
hopefully
the
not in a
viewers
negative
will
way.
listen to it, they love it and they like it, and subscribe to it. That's all that matters, right?
Exactly.
So
And then we have a Stephen A. and a Stephen A. Smith and a Shannon Sharp kind of
bye.
chemistry here because we got the LeBron loving, he's the greatest, oh my God, and then I'm more of a let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. Let's see let's check the facts
Let's
first.
calm down. Let's stay.
Yeah, let's calm down. I'm not quite Skip Bayless. I'm not in a LeBron hate train. I'm just like, let's slow down on the go conference, but
Yeah.
it'll be fun. But KO was fun, man.
It was
We
good.
will definitely continue this series,
100%.
and yeah, next week we will have a lot more topics. I'm sure we'll probably have some more basketball news coming up too.
Yeah, definitely, because the media day is gonna start kicking off soon for basketball. Football's gonna get into gear because they're gonna make their cuts for final roster spots. We can talk about any,
Yep.
some veterans are gonna get cut, and we can talk about that next week. So
Be
that'll be
interesting.
good. And baseball's gonna be close and race for the pennant, for the conference. So that'll be good, man. Can't wait for the.
We'll definitely should talk the Clippers too and the organization there. So that'd be a hot topic for the first game. $200 for a Clipper game, please. But that will be for next week for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into basketball a lot more.
Exactly, man. Definitely.
All right.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys next week.
100%, man. Take care, y'all.